Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're watching Out Here in the Redwoods. I'm your host, Denise Riles. And for everyone here, aloha. How are you, everybody? Come out wherever you are. We're time zone friendly. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have for you photographer extraordinaire Jose Quezada. Welcome! Aloha!
Gracias.
Ooh.
Buenas noches. Buenas tardes.
Ooh, de nada, señor.
Well, thank you for that great little opening. That felt great.
Well, you're welcome. I see your work everywhere, literally everywhere, and I love your eye of the world. But I want to know a little more about you. How did you get to Humboldt County and when?
Well, you know, in 1972, I wanted to move to where the mountains met the sea, so I hitchhiked into Humboldt County, and my first night was a rainy night, and they let me off at the College of the Redwoods entrance. I slogged into College of the Redwoods, fell into the creek there, and spent my first night on a little redwood bench right there at the front of the school. That was my first time in Humboldt County. Haven't left in 42 years.
Holy moly. And you were 19?
I was 19. They would have called me homeless today.
Yeah.
I spent my first 3 days on that bench at College of the Redwoods.
So where did you go next? You got yourself a place?
Oh, yeah. I finally found a house in Manila about a week later and lived in Manila for 11 years. Then I moved to Neelan for 5 years, moved to Cutton for another 5 years, moved to Fortuna for 8 years, and I've been living now in Myrtletown for about 15 years.
Wow. But what was the moment you said, I gotta go? Seriously, at 19 years old, I'm leaving.
Well, I was raised in Los Angeles, and I was very nervous. I didn't know it at the time, but I was pretty overstimulated. I got a 4-year scholarship to St. Mary's College.
Nice.
I lasted 6 months because I was just too immature. And ended up hitchhiking across the country for the next year and a half, and that's where I grew up. I built a log cabin back east, but I wanted to move to where the mountains met the sea, and came into Humboldt County at age 19, went to school.
Wow. So did you go to school for photography, or what did you
Oh, no. I started off, today it's called early childhood education. Mm-hmm. In those days, it was called homemaking. So I was taking homemaking classes, but I was learning to be an early childhood educator.
Okay.
And but in those days it was homemaking, and but the ratio was great. I was the one of 2 boys, and everyone else was women. So the ratio was wonderful for me. Great learning environment. So I helped start the first Head Start preschool in mid 1970s. Jimmy Carter was president. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
But Susie Wartburg and I started the first Head Start preschool through the Manila West Haven Parent Council, and heck, they got 3 dozen schools now throughout Humboldt and Del Norte counties.
Wow. And you were on the ground floor.
Yeah, I helped write the education component. I had been a student and stuff, and I had this thing that I thought this could really work, and they asked us, and man, we got the first Head Start monies in Humboldt County, and I was just very jazzed.
Wow. Do you still keep in contact with some of those folks?
Well, you know, when you live somewhere for 42 years and you live someplace like Humboldt County, you can't help but, see people everywhere. I got to tell you, this is a true story. I ran into one of my preschoolers, one of my Head Start preschoolers. I'm at the casino, and she comes. First of all, that's the first shock. I ran into a preschooler at the casino, and then she comes up to me and she says, I'm a grandmother. And I went, oh, yeah, that's what I do. I'm living in denial here. I feel the same. My preschoolers are turning into grandmothers. I've been here a long time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So when did you start putting your photographs out there? What made you start there?
Well, you see, I worked for Head Start and the Manila West Haven Parent Council for 8 years, and then I worked for the county in workforce development and economic development for a little over 25 years.
Yeah.
So the whole time, photography has just been kind of a passion, just kind of fun, just kind of something I did as a pastime, but not very much, you know.
Right.
What I did was a lot of photographs for the nonprofit organizations that I'd be working with and submit them to the newspaper. And that's actually how the Time Standard knew who I was, because I just kept submitting photos for free. I wasn't getting paid, but you know, for Humboldt Child Care Council or for First Five Humboldt or different things that were going on, and every now and then they would be put in. And so it was just something that grew. So when I retired, you know, when I left the county and economic development, I said, I am out of here. My health was a little messed up, and I had to go. And so I went all the way back to young kids, doing music with young children through North Coast Music Together. And I went back to my passion with photography. And those are my two main things that I do today, and I love it. Just
wow. So you're also a musician.
I am a musician, but I like to say that I'm just a lot more musical. Sure, I can play a couple of instruments, but you know, here's all the instruments that we need right here: our voices and our bodies. I tell you, you might bring out an egg shaker every now and then, you know, but that's just for the rhythm. But the kids, that's what we do. We have babies and their parents, and we sing and then we dance. And then I go, when that class is over, I'll go take some pictures for the Time Standard, whether it be sports or special events, and or I go do some nature shots on my own. I just love getting up at dawn or the evening or the low tide, and that's the kind of photography that I just really, really enjoy.
Oh, and you've taken some pictures at the Baton Rouge, which I really enjoy. And one of the most moving pieces, I thought, was when you collaborated some of those photos with some of your family members that sing opera.
Well, I'm so pleased that you're even aware of that. Yeah.
I passed it around. It's beautiful.
My sister Alba Quezada and my other sister Janina Quezada are both classically trained. They used to tour in Europe and play. And my sister lives in Manhattan. She was in the Phantom of the Opera when it won the Tony. And my other sister teaches piano, and she has taught, oh gosh, I could name drop like crazy, but Donna Summers and different stars and stuff. She just would teach them piano. So yeah, and they had a soundtrack that I used for the Baton Rouge, and it actually sounded beautiful. I mean, those guys are great.
Yes, they are.
I love it. Colorful, photographer's dream. I got
and we're talking about the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, ladies and gentlemen.
And the clarification is made. That's right.
Oh yeah.
A great force in this community.
So what made you decide to put those two elements together?
Well, I've actually done a few videos, and I've seen the power of music. And classical music is something I wasn't necessarily into when I was young, but boy, it just fits together with so many different things now. But I do a lot of music. Try to get music either created or done by myself or off the royalty-free list. But it just goes well with video. It just goes very well. I like to combine photographs and video together. And put stuff out. In fact, this studio right here, I remember when I was working with economic development, Sean Ennis, we started a project here where we were teaching kids how to use multimedia.
Really?
How to use the digital.
So again, on the ground floor.
On the ground
in this
floor.
wonderful facility.
Yeah.
You are a builder.
Well.
You are a builder.
I'm building it up. I'm building it up. Yes, I am.
You are a foundation.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Whoops, you're making me laugh so much.
She's falling apart.
My microphone.
She's falling apart in front of me.
Please forgive me a moment. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'd like to sing a song in the meantime.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
So for you, how do you see the world? What catches your attention for a photograph?
Well, it's a matter of luck. It's a matter of, and the luck means like, gee, I happen to be standing at the right place, or I happen to having my camera pointed in the right place. But what I really enjoy are candid shots. A lot of people see me with the camera and they'll start doing a pose, you know, do this or this.
Right.
And that's not what I like. I really much more have an affinity for casual, candid shots. Because that to me is where you can capture the human element. That's where you can capture the human emotion.
Right.
And whether it's laughing or whether it's a roller derby, a woman just slamming into another one, or today I was taking pictures of surfers. We'll have some surfers in the paper tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic.
And I was able to get really close to them, but you can get the grit on their face.
Yeah,
I was
grit.
able to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that word, grit.
Yeah,
well, that's human. That's us in the raw.
Well, that's one good way to put it, and it is the way to understand. I think the human condition is to be able to emulate what is going on, and other people will bring an emotion that is not even planned there, but people will see it and people will feel different things. And that's the magic of photography. I love that.
That's right. Is there any particular photograph that you've caught in these last years that still moves you today? That you were like, oh my God, I can't believe I got to witness that.
Well, and it's good to be able to discern between taking the pictures of something and then taking a picture of a moment.
Yeah.
And the picture of a moment that I remember is that there's that term, I think it's called the golden light or the golden hour, where the sun is just going down. And it's this little window of time where the lighting is just perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm at Redwood Acres, and I was, they're actually doing a criterium, bicycles going around Redwood Acres, the oval.
Oh.
And I was just taking pictures for the paper, and then in between races, I saw this little 2-year-old. And I was saying, oh, the light is just hitting him perfectly. And I was just, he's a cute kid. So I just started taking pictures. The kid starts ambling over to this little puppy. And all of a sudden in the frame, I've got, by accident, this kid and this puppy. And just in slow motion, this little kid's mouth goes all the way around the puppy's little snout. And the lighting was perfect. The puppy's just in heaven. And the kid's going, he's good. So honestly, that is one of the photographs that I just really, really do enjoy the most.
Yeah. Another moment I know was the moment that the Hollenbeck family gathered around their beloved Blue.
Oh my, yep. That was pretty emotional. That was a pretty emotional session, and I remember watching Blue slowly dying.
Yeah.
And the amount of energy of people at Blue Ox and friends and neighbors that were digging him out and trying to get him back up and trying to pull him back up. As Eric Hollenbeck said, Blue had made his decision.
Yeah.
And but it was still one of the saddest things. What a beautiful, beautiful creature.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful creature, and knowing that it's kind of giving up. It was just, we're reminded of our own mortality.
Right.
And we're reminded that creatures, all creatures, big and small. I tell you, I just love animals. And Blue particularly struck me. It was pretty emotional for me.
Yeah. So you were there to capture a moment.
Yeah. Yep. That's another moment. And, living in Humboldt County, I got to tell you, there are many more opportunities for these moments simply because we live in such a beautiful place.
Oh.
We live in such an area that I think sometimes we take for granted.
Yeah, we do.
Being a Los Angeles boy, I got to tell you, every time I go back down there, it's like 3 days and I'm overstimulated, And
get me the heck out!
I tell you, we have a minute and a half rush hour, and I see people complaining about that. And I tell you, but that's it in Humboldt County.
Yeah. I'm not here for 2 hours learning books on tape. We've got. Oh my God! So. What is in store for you now? As you said, you're a happy man, following your dream.
Well, as a matter of fact, the music business is really doing very well. We have classes in Eureka, Bayside, Fortuna, and the classes are filling up. But one thing that I just wrote a grant, I just wrote a proposal, and we're taking the first steps on being able to get local musicians to record children's songs, royalty-free Americana traditional songs. Like Skip to My Lou, skip, skip. Those songs are Shoo Fly, Don't Bother Me, Shoo Fly, Don't... All these songs, but to have their own renditions, their own instrumentals. We're going to record them, and that's the music that we will use for music classes through various Humboldt First 5 playgroups. So that's what the dream is. But being able to connect with the Humboldt Folklife Festival musicians, connect with First 5 Humboldt, which is focused on services and for children 0 to 5 years of age, and it's just a great combination. So that's the next dream that's coming up right now.
So how, as a community, do we help you with that?
Well,
is there anything that we can do as community to help? Because those are things I remember from my childhood, and I don't know, are those songs still being taught in school? Or are they starting to become less and less?
Well, Music Together is actually, it's out of Princeton, New Jersey, and they've done some studies. And one particular fact struck me. They said that the average American family knows all the words to 4 songs. The average American family.
That's it?
Well, you know, one of them's Happy Birthday.
Yes.
You know, one of them's got to be maybe Jingle Bells.
Maybe.
And the other one might be Row, Row, Row Your Boat.
Right.
But families don't sing together. And so the beauty of our program is that the parents are there. As a matter of fact, we have grandparents there that are coming in with their grandkids.
Nice.
And it's the parents that are having a good time, and the babies are just like watching, and then they start emulating.
Yeah.
That's how they learn language. That's how they learn music.
Right. So it's a playtime on a grander scale.
A playtime on a grander scale. Oh, and incidentally, I get great photographs there also.
Really?
Combine everything. Why not?
Oh, God. So, do you have any more shows coming up yourself, or do you put together installations?
I just put I had my first show that I did with my brother Roberto Quezada and my cousin Oliverio Quezada. We just had our first show in August, my first show in August. Those guys are professionals. They're really good. I was a little nervous as my first show, but it was a success. And it was we were at the Area 1 on Agency. It was a great thank to Maggie Kraft and letting us use that, her space. But I was just asked by the Unitarian Fellowship to hang 15 pieces up there. So that's in Bayside. That's where I'll have my next show, I believe, starting next week.
Next week, and that's Arts Arcada, ladies and gentlemen, right?
Arts Arcada, they're a little bit out of the way. They're, the Unitarian is on Jacoby Creek Road in Bayside. And I'm not sure they do the Arts Arcada, but I do know, I'm not sure if they do or not. I'm not sure if people actually drive out to Bayside as part of that, but that's where my show is going to be.
Fantastic. Everybody go see Jose's installation.
Por favor.
Por favor. Now, what makes, you use the word successful, what makes an art show successful? I've never heard it put into that. What makes a successful art show?
Well, you know what? That I had a lot of friends show up.
Okay.
That I had a lot of wine.
Nice. That always helps, doesn't it?
I had a lot of food.
Yeah.
And I even sold some pieces. I mean, to me,
All
I did not expect to sell anything. And because I just wanted to get out there, just exposure. I mean, this is why I do a lot of freelance photography for Time Standard. They don't pay me, they pay me peanuts, but they throw me a lot of peanuts.
Okay.
But the reason I like it is because I get to get my name in 8 pica under the picture, but that's exposure.
Yeah.
And as a retired as a retired person who's an active photographer, that's worth gold for me. I've gotten jobs because of that.
What kind of jobs?
Oh, the Chamber of Commerce, for instance. I did their annual brochure last year.
Oh, nice.
They had me do photos of 40 houses in Eureka that they submitted to a national contest, and we were selected the top town on the West Coast for the most paintable village or town in the United States. So types of things, jobs like that. I do family portraits. I've done a couple of weddings. It's just,
Yeah. So what do you
things
like?
come up.
What is it about a wedding that intrigues you? I'm
it
serious.
Scares the living grunt out of me. That's the intrigue. And how do I deal with that nervousness? And to be frank, there's only been a couple of opportunities that I've had for that because I'm still relatively new. I've been doing photography heavy for 5 years. My brother, who's the real photographer, says, you know, Jose, if I would have started photography so late in life, I'd be pretty doggone frustrated too. And it's, yeah, but the opportunity with Time Standards, I get to shoot so much that if I haven't learned something after shooting 30,000 photos, then I probably shouldn't be a photographer. But I'm pretty self-taught. I didn't really go to school for it, but I'm glad I was able to learn things pretty much by touch.
Right. Well, some of the greatest things have been created by people who didn't know so much. Like the Golden Gate Bridge. They'd never done that before. They went ahead on it. The big tile at Notre Dame of Jesus. The tile guys never done that before. But they did it.
But somebody had the dream, right?
Yeah.
Somebody had the dream, and somebody said, "We've got the wherewithal, and let's just put it together." You know,
exactly.
Here's the thing about that I enjoy about photography is it does let me practice having an open mind.
Oh,
which
no,
I think,
that's a mouthful right there.
Well, an open mind is really a key to a creative mind.
Yeah.
If you're not open to different things that are going on, if you're not open to the different possibilities that there are, and most importantly in photography, if you're not open to a different way of looking at something, you're going to just be in a nice little line, and my photographer, pictures are going to look like everybody else's. And, And so, honestly, having an open mind it helped me when I was writing grants for economic development. Having an open mind.
Yeah.
I said, let's get some funders to be able to buy computers for Access Humboldt, where they can start doing classes, joining them with high school kids, and they're still going now. These kids are producing beautiful, beautiful works. But it just started with people having the similar dream and having an open mind that it can work. That's the secret.
So how do you keep an open mind yourself? Is there something that you do,
Keep
or
asking,
is it just natural?
Keep asking questions.
Okay.
Don't take a given as the final story. If I have an angle on a photograph and it's a great angle, if I get a chance to walk 360 around that subject, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I won't just be happy with the one. So you've got to really be able to push yourself.
Yeah.
Push yourself beyond.
Yeah.
And having an open mind and having a curious mind, saying, well, there might be something else. There might be something else, or maybe if I stay here just a little bit longer. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But boy, when it does work,
spot on.
Fantástico. That's Spanish. I hope I didn't throw you off. It's probably Spanglish, actually.
It's Spanglish. Now, does your family history come from Spain?
Guatemala.
Guatemala.
My father and mom arrived here about 6 months before I was born.
Oh my goodness!
With my two older brothers, and they left for political reasons. My dad was, and they're both still alive. I am the luckiest dude. I am so. They're both 80. He's still working. He's still. My father is still translating for the Los Angeles County court system.
Go, Mr.
My mom is still helping translate for Head Start parenting programs in LA. They're like this. I used to be paranoid that they would get on the freeway. Man, they're I couldn't keep up with her. No, but it's So they came from Guatemala, and he was studying to be he was an economics student, and he was told he used to work for the American Embassy, and he was told you're not going to be able to get a job here in Guatemala. So, bada bing, bada boom, they made him an American citizen just like that. That's why our family's here.
Wow. Do you go back to visit? Do you still have family there?
My family goes back a lot. I've only been back a couple of times. I'm not a really good traveler, but I have a lot of family there. Facebook has reopened up our ability to communicate with a lot of our family there.
Hasn't it?
I'm bragging, but I got doctor cousins, I got a cardiologist cousin, and they're all doing such beautiful work with the people in Guatemala. When the earthquake hit and when the floods hit, my family is always going down.
Okay.
And my father won Book of the Year. He's a writer, and he won a Book of the Year he writes in Spanish in Guatemala. It was in 1992, but it's a lot of connections with Guatemala. We haven't left it.
Oh my God. You are certainly a family of doers. You know, seriously.
We are one of the luckiest people here. In our family, we have just, everyone is producing. Everyone is doing really, really well.
Is there one piece of advice your dad has given you or your mother has given you that keeps you on this road?
I had a 4-year scholarship to St. Mary's College. I said, I'm going to leave college and I'm going to hitchhike across the country. And my parents said to me, be careful, and we love you. They accepted. They could have said, well, you're throwing away your 4-year scholarship. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Be safe, and we love you. And it's an acceptance, and I didn't realize how powerful that was until years later, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And but it's I think that's been the secret to all of our successes is an acceptance and in a positive acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And here you are today.
Here I am today on television talking about my life. My life is almost complete. Look at that.
But what's going to take for it to be complete? What is it that you're scared of, yet you're going to do anyway?
What is it that I'm
What
scared
is it you're dying to try now?
Well, I'm about to embark on a total entrepreneurial focus. And by that I mean Obamacare gets slammed a lot, but it's going to allow me to become an entrepreneur now. And
Seriously, how?
Well, I can now afford to pay for my insurance. I was a very healthy adult all my life. I paid into insurance for my first 55 years. Actually, I started work at 14. I've been paying
all this time.
And at age 56, I got diabetes, adult onset diabetes. My health just...
Oh, boy.
But, and then to get the quotes, everyone says, oh, Obamacare, we want to go back to what it was. Here's what it was. They wanted to charge me $3,000 a month for insurance.
Oh my God.
With Obamacare, it'll be, split between my wife and I, $750. So not to get into Obamacare, but it's allowing me to be an entrepreneur, and that is my next fearful, but I'm going to make it decision.
Okay, what are you doing entrepreneurial-wise?
Well, the music is going to expand.
Okay.
And also, my wife is a fantastic writer, and I'm hoping that she leaves her very good, well-paid county job, and she's a fantastic writer. And between my photography and her writing, we want to do stories in Humboldt County.
Yeah. So tell your wife, be safe. I love you.
Heather Shelton she is safe, and she's
Jose, this has been absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I was going to get you singing, but we'll do that next time.
Jambalaya, crawfish pie, mio mayo. Ladies and gentlemen, with Jose Quezada.
Happy Mardi Gras, everybody.
Mardi Gras. It's been a pleasure to see you guys tonight. For everyone here and out here in the Redwoods, for myself and Jose, aloha or adios means hello and goodbye.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
This week's episode has been brought to you by The Costume Box at 2nd and T in Eureka. Open 1 p.m. to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 1 to 5 on Saturdays. Uniquely Yours Catering Company, providing elegant catering for your event or special occasion. You can contact Elizabeth at 707-834-2732. And Javita, herb-infused, energizing weight loss coffee and Japanese green tea. Available online at either myjavita.com/lostcoast or myjavita.com/poiboy. For a free sample, call 707-845-8421.